Unnatural, abnormal, and wrong. I refer here to the exile. The Jewish people have been in exile for thousands of years, in some case 1,500, at least 2,500, in some case 2,000 years. And the Maharal tells us, beginning of his book about exile and the eternity of the Jewish people, he says that exile is an unnatural state for 3 reasons. Number 1, he says, it is unnatural for a nation not to be in its native land. The Jewish people belong in the land of Israel. The fact that we have, thank God, found comfortable homes in democracies around the world, and the fact that, thank God, we are not a persecuted minority as we have once been, does not mean it's a natural state. It is natural for the Jewish people to be in the land of Israel. So one aspect of exile that is unnatural is Jews, any nation, not in their country. Number 2, it is unnatural for a nation not to have self-determination, i.e. the Jewish people as a nation under the control of other nations, other governments, other authorities, not self-determining, not independent, not under our own authority. That is also unnatural. It may be that the authority under which we live is benign. It may be that it's benevolent. It may be that it's wonderful and comfortable, but it's unnatural. What is natural is for a nation to be self-determining. So the Jewish people have been in an unnatural state for a long time. Third, it is unnatural for a nation to be mufuzar or mufarad, to be scattered and separate, to be all over the world. I have relatives in Australia. I have relatives in New York. I have relatives in Israel. I have relatives scattered around the world. And I'm sure most families that I am talking to now, most Jewish families, have families scattered everywhere. This is also not natural. It's natural for families, for a nation to be together in our own land, in a self-determining situation. And so therefore, Maharal says that exile is an unnatural state. These 3 weeks are a time that we contemplate the fact that we are in an unnatural state. We contemplate the fact that exile is not normal, and we should not think of it as normal. The problem is that during the course of the year, during the course of our lives, we sink into a belief that this is normal. But what the Maharal tells us is that one of the purposes of the 3 weeks is to understand that it's not normal. He says, if it's unnatural, that means it will revert to what is natural. We have already begun to see Jewish people returning to the land of Israel, Jewish people having self-determination in the land of Israel, ingathering of the exiles being together. It's not finished yet, but it has started. But one of the ideas that we need to think about, one of the ideas we need to contemplate during the 3 weeks is our unnatural, bizarre, weird and abnormal state, that we are not all together, we are not in our own land, and we don't have self-determination. One aspect of the 3 weeks, one aspect of our lives in exile. There are many other aspects of exile which I'm not addressing. Suffering, persecution, dispersion, etc. Yes, many other tragic aspects of exile. Assimilation, people forgetting and distorting the Torah, all tragic. But I just want to focus on that one idea. The Maharal tells us it is unnatural for a nation to be out of its own country, to be under others' authority, and not to be together. What we pray for during this period is that we will see a time when the Jewish people are back in our own home in the land of Israel, all of us, a time when we will have complete independence and self-determination under the Davidic lineage, under that beautiful, wonderful monarchy. And third, that we will all be together, not mufuzar or mufurad, scattered and separate, but together. And together doesn't just mean geographically nearby. It also means that we are together emotionally, i.e. we don't have divisions, we don't have fights, we don't have arguments, we don't have parties that divide up one person from another, vicious arguments, not so vicious arguments, being broigus, etc. It's a time that we have to understand that part of this is in our hands. In fact, a large part of this is in our hands. It is within our hands to return to Israel. It's within our hands to support Jewish self-determination, and it's certainly within our hands to affect that situation of being scattered and separate. The one aspect we can affect very easily, does not require geography, does not require buying a ticket, does not require fighting an army, but it requires overcoming the division, the separation, and the baseless hatred that makes us not only geographically dispersed, but also emotionally and spiritually dispersed. So our prayer for this time of year is that the unnatural should become, that we should become into our natural state, which is to be together in Israel, united under our own authority. This is Mordechai Becher, and I wish everyone a nechama, comfort, as the Navi says, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, comfort ye, comfort me, my people, that we should go from these 3 weeks to an eternity of comfort and redemption.